Hello everyone. I'm gonna go over the start for Tiqtaq'to and how to take over the Empire remnants in, I think it was 8 turns? Yeah? Yeah. Tiqtaq'to is very good in the early game, mainly due to having the Bola Pterodons, who just absolutely rip up everything that the humans have to offer, but also that you can get more of Pterodon Riders. You can actually get 8 units of Pterodon Riders before you go after, I don't know how to pronounce that name, Quexler or whatever, the town that the Empire Remnants are occupying at first. But there's a couple of key things that need to happen for that. Mainly, you need, this first fight, you need to let some of the units escape. But you need to also wound the Lord. And this is done so that you will have a second fight, and the Lord needs to be wounded, or the commander needs to be wounded, so that they do not run too far away. You want them to run away, but only so far away that you will still be able to catch them. And that's what actually makes this first fight a little bit difficult, because you have to juggle the units so that you don't annihilate everything. And actually it makes this first fight rather boring, but let's go over it. There's 2 different scenarios or maps that can be. This is the second one of them. This is, I think, the map that takes longer. The other one is rather easier because it doesn't have so much forest. You can just use the Cold One Riders to ride around and annihilate everything from behind. But in this one, and in the other one, it follows the same procedure. You use the Pterodon Riders to take out 1 unit of the archers, and you use Tiqtaq'to to assault them, to keep them in place, and let your Cold One Riders come along. Meanwhile, your Skinks, they should be skirmishing against everything on the infantry side from the enemy. What usually happens is that the enemy lord tries to go after the Skinks, and the Skinks end up using a lot of ammo against the lord, which is it makes the fight last longer. So you need to micro the Skinks a little bit more to prevent that from happening. This is ideal that you want. You want the Skinks to like destroy a unit of spearmen or swordsmen, and then be ready to take out another one, like, rapidly. Meanwhile, the Cold One Riders are taking out one of the crossbow units, and Tiqtaq'to is doing the same for the other one. Once you get them running, Tiqtaq'to can just, like, chase them off the map and be cool with it. Skinks, the Skink cohort, they're really useless. I mean, they're mostly useless in the game, but they're especially useless in here, because they just can't like hold their ground against anything. Well, anyway, so this is what you do. Once you're done with the archers, try and find clusters of melee units and send the Firebola Pterodon Riders over there. Better option over here, instead of sending the Cold One Rider straight at the swordsman, is that you charge Tiqtaq'to into the swordsman and then crush the Cold One Riders into the flank of the swordsman. I mean, they just get annihilated by then. This one just takes, like, admittedly a little bit longer, but the end result is the same. Yeah, this here is a part where the Skinks are liable to start shooting at the commander, and you don't want that to happen, if only because you want to spare some of the ammo so you can take out the actual units. This is another thing that very often happens in this first fight, because as I mentioned earlier, you have to let the enemy army get away in some capacity. So you don't get to annihilate every unit. You need to let like a couple of units at least to remain with enough units that you can actually fight them again. And then you need to deal with the Lord, but well, right now the battle is pretty much already won. You just have to mop it up, and it's kind of boring at this point, but let's go over it anyway. I'm really glad that the Lord right now is chasing one of the skinks. I mean, well, really glad is kind of pushing it, but anyway. It's good to have him chasing the skinks in the sense that, because I still want to kill him or wound him, I can use the skinks now to drag him towards my other units. Maybe save a little time on that. Because again, this is, yeah. Tiqtaq'to charges them in the back, and then the Cold One Riders charge back in and finish the job. Another thing about this forest map, yeah, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think the forest like protects, well, it does. It does protect the units, especially the melee units from the fire leech, whatever, the Pterodon riders with bombs. They get protected in the forest, so that's also another thing that makes this mission or fight last a little bit longer. And once they come out of the forest, it's time to use the remaining ammunition. Alright. That unit is gone. We don't want to fight it anymore. Just let it go. And now just prepare to deal with the Lord. And that's another thing with the Pterodon riders. Let's see if I did that. Yep. Once they run out of ammo, you can charge them in to like low morale units, because they're still causing fear. And if you can do this, that you charge them into the back, then it's gonna break the unit really, really quick. But since both skinks and the Pterodon riders are trash at melee, they probably won't like annihilate the unit completely, which is nice in this first mission. Alright, now it's time to start dealing with the Lord. And the Empire Lords are pretty annoying in the regard that they have a lot of armor and they do a lot of damage. For instance, skinks, they don't do anything to them. You pretty much have to deal with them last, and then even then you need to use like the Cold One Riders and Tiqtaq'to. But when the rest of the army has been dealt with, the lore usually yields rather quickly as well. Should happen any time now. Yep. And there we go. And yep. There. And now the Lord hasn't fallen, so you, like I said, you have to kill him or wound him, whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't think he can be killed. I think you can only wound him, but there. Now that that's done, there's a bit more losses than I would like in this fight, but I'm just gonna blame the fact that I was being very sloppy doing this. So anyways, now they get to run away, but if they have their lord with them, they run away so far that you are actually unable to initiate the fight with them again. And this is crucial because there's the right of ferocity. You need to win 3 fights to be able to use it. So you want to win fights 1 and 2 against this initial army. And then once you take Tiqtaq'to or Quexla or whatever was the name of the town, once you take that, you get to instantly use Right of Ferocity. You get better units, I mean more experienced units, and you get more of them. So you get to, in 2 turns, you will recruit 8 units of Pterodon Riders. And they basically, at this point in the game, they are tier 3 units, and since Tiqtaq'to gives them additional bombs, they become like 8 unit death ball that will completely annihilate everything that the game has to offer at this point in the game. So there we see. The requirement is unlock after winning 3 battles. We're already... Oh, Quexla. Yeah, that was the name of the town. Well, and you don't really need to march towards it right now, but that's what I do. Nobody's gonna attack you. And here we go. The power... What's it called? Power level of the armies, yeah. It looks kinda equal, but in reality it's not. Even though you have, at this point, you only have 1 unit of Pterodon Riders, there's nothing that the AI can actually do. They're all like melee units. So let's just find the Lord. Oh, yeah, there he is. And I'm gonna fire the missiles. Yep, that's it. Game over. Now we just need to mop up everything. Takes a while, yeah, but foregone conclusion. And this is another thing that you can do with Tiqtaq'to. Since he's flying, he can be everywhere. So whenever the enemy units start to go near, like say your skinks or a unit that you don't want them to fight with, you just charge Tiqtaq'to in, and that's it. They're locked in. And what usually happens is other units, they start to move towards Tiqtaq'to as well. And Tiqtaq'to is not very good in melee at this point in the game, at least. But what he does have is he's got a flying beast, and he can just scamper away from the fight like, nope, 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 nope. So you charge him in, and you instantly charge him out. And that's another way of keeping the guys locked in their place. And you can do that all day long. And then, well, eventually some units will break. You can set Tiqtaq'to on them, and he'll change them out of the map. Loses his vigor at that, but, well, that's the price you pay, I guess, for being the lonely skink hero riding away 60 spearmen or something retarded like that. Yeah. It's a minute and a half and their army is pretty much completely dead at this point. There's just that 1 unit in the forest just lurking, and I don't think they just realized that, oh shit, game over, man. And I think I could have actually finished this fight a lot faster if I just break the 2 armies there, like 2 units there, faster, but I didn't, so this happened. Break. There we go. Really fast and easy. And Right of Ferocity has been unlocked. Instantly take it, and since we're still in Tlaqua, yeah, let's get those Pterodon Riders. Let's get those rank 2 Pterodon Riders. And also, yes, that's another thing. You turn on the commandment of war. So next turn, because you will spend 2 turns recruiting, uh, you will gain even better. I mean, it's not a lot, but hey, everything counts, and it's not like you're losing a lot. So here, let's get those rank 3 Pterodon Riders, and again, another 4. Now, a mistake you don't want to make is after you've done recruiting, you change the commandment back into the one that gives you money and growth and whatnot. Stability. And here is a small thing that I do. At the very first turn, I build up the skink building to level 2 so that I can buy myself, hire a skink chief. And, well, after that I usually get rid of the skink building, because I don't think you really need it for anything. You're not gonna buy any skinks. The skinks, tier 3, you get an additional skink chief, and skink chiefs are, well, they're bad. I mean, they're really good once you get stegodons, but you don't have stegodons to give them. I will say this though, that with Tiqtaq'to, they always get the Pterodon, and they become a lot better, because especially against Khemri, and, well, against everyone, you can ride them over the enemy lines and just start shooting at the Lord or like another vulnerable target, which is a thing you cannot do if you don't have the Pterodon Rider. And this is like among the most tedious parts of the early game, where since you don't have Croxigors or anything of that sort that would allow you to instantly charge at the walls, you actually have to spend a turn, waste it, to build something like one of those battering rams that you can actually start and go fight. It's really boring, but well, otherwise you'd have this done by turn 6, I think. Yeah. But anyway, this is the only part where you can get even slightly damaged, and thanks to Pterodon Riders having actually pretty good hit points, you probably won't even lose any models. And once you're over the walls, you just pick and choose your targets. Get rid of the crossbowmen, and once that is done, you're going to start annihilating everything that is on the ground. The guns over there, they're pretty annoying, but once again, like, you just spend tic-tac-toe on it. You send them towards them, which should be happening anytime now. And keep them in skirmish mode so they don't get to shoot at all. Yep, here we go. Yep. Slow them down for a bit, charge in, and then shoot them. Feels good, man. Feels good. And this is precisely what I was talking about earlier. Now the other units are like, hey, fresh meat on the ground, let's go kill Tiqtaq'to, and you're just like, nope, 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 fly away. And it's really easy, because you just push the like smaller models away, and you fly to freedom. I think this was a really bad bomb. Yep. This was one of the worst bombs that I've ever done, but it's okay. That's the case that I was talking about earlier. Skink Chiefs, they have some usefulness now, because you can actually ride them over the walls and start shooting at the vulnerable targets, or if not vulnerable, at least the enemy lord. And now we get to the good part, where all the melee units are stacked in a small area. You got Pterodon Riders with 2 bombs. It's time to literally shit on the enemy. It's like a big, beautiful, shiny M-Series BMW that is being parked on the parking lot. And a big flock of seagulls is coming in like, yeah guys, we're gonna shit all over that beamer. We're gonna love doing. This is what's happening here. I think the mic hurrying here is a little bit sloppy, but it's okay. I wasn't in any rush. As you can see, I forget Tiqtaq'to into melee, and honestly don't even remember, did I pay for my mistake here? No. Yep, there we go. Let's push the plebs out of the way. Fly to freedom. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Yes! Freedom! And there we go. Tiqtaq'to lives to win the day. These Free Company shooters, they got to live like way too long. They actually got to shoot back a bit. Usually it doesn't happen, but well, it is what it is. Oh look. You guys think you're going somewhere? No. Nobody gets to leave the murder grounds alive. Should have gotten the... should have charged in the Tiqtaq'to or the Skink Chief there in front of the walls so I could actually open up the walls and yeah, run my melee units inside, but I didn't, so now it's gonna take a bit longer. Yep. Keep on running, boys. Pigeons of Doom are here. Now it's time to deal with those guys. Having the second bomb is just... it's very, very, very good. It makes all of this initial fighting so easy. The teardown riders, they're practically able to go 2 for 1. They're able to shoot down a single unit, and then they're able to drop the bombs and take out at least 1 more unit with them. Or in this case, yeah, the bombs just dealt with 2 units. So 1 teardown rider can easily take out 3 units given the right circumstances. And that's it. This is... I think this is... No, the first fight is probably the hardest. This one is... I'm not gonna say a close second, but this one's the second hardest fight. And I think the first fight is the only fight so far where you can actually do something drastically bad that might end up biting you in the butt later on, but... well, just don't do that. Just be good. Don't be bad. And now we're pretty much set. I'm gonna give a turn. Next turn. let's go closer to the last town over there. It's a plain of something. And oh yes, that's another thing. Yes, because you have so many fights, you get Tiqtaq'to to level 5, so you actually gain another extra 1,000 gold in the very beginning of the game by the time you take out Sudenburg. Yeah. Honestly, looking at it retrospect, I know replenish troops is really good on the Skink Chief, but there should be no reason to take it this early. I mean, you should just try to make the Skink Chief a lot better at shooting, so you can get more mileage out of him in early game. And yeah, then get replenished troops later, because at least in the early game, you just don't need replenished troops. I know there's one Pterodon rider that is got like only 3 models left, but that's pretty much an exception and just me being sloppy. It's not the rule. Usually what happens is like you take somewhere between 0 and 20 losses, and out of those 20 losses some might be like skinks. Because again, in all honesty, the game doesn't have anything to offer at this point that could deal with the Pterodon riders. This is probably the best that they've got. Having like 4 ranged units, a couple of them those militias, but they get to shoot some, but in the end you have 8 units of Pterodon riders, and once you're done dealing with these crossbowmen and the free militia, then what do they have? They've got nothing. They got infantry who's just sitting there. And that's another thing, like the AI, I'm going to criticize the AI a little bit on this, because the AI doesn't move its infantry models towards my paltry amount of melee units at all. It's just like they don't exist. Let's sit here and wait. I mean, what could go wrong? Huh? And it feels kind of like cheating, but then again, this is essentially what is happening here. Enemy doesn't have any models that are capable of dealing with the aerial superiority of the Pterodon riders, and they get to pay the price for it. Still, if the infantry at least tried to move towards my army, then you know, maybe they could get to fight or something. The couple of times I've seen that actually happen is the times when I also just hid my skinks in a forest and had the Cold One riders just run around and, you know, get all merry and stuff. Taunt the enemy like that. So yeah. Guys, have you heard? Have you heard the joyous occasion of the pigeon gods? It's time to fire the missiles. Bombs away. And now by the time that they've lost everything, yeah, now we can start kinda moving towards my infantry, but too little, too late. Sex batang. It's not a fun day for the Empire. No. Their brave men are practically being dismantled and destroyed by skinks. Skinks on lizards. Flying lizards, but... Whoop! there we go. I think the audio got a little bit out of sync, but hey, that's what happens with editing. Oh well. So yeah, there we go. I think all in all this took me about maybe 40 minutes of my time. So it's actually really, really quick. And then from here, you spend turn 8 here, turn 9, and turn 9 you move towards Black Tower of Archon. Turn 10 you start sieging it. Turn 11 you take it. That's how this evolves. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.